Independent Showcase Season 3, Episode 4, with a name a lot easier to pronounce than my last guest, which was Lilith Diaz, and that was fun and games at the start before we got on air. But the person that we've got today has made a big splash in 2025 at such a young age, and at 2026, well, when I think I said this before when I was talking about this guy on shows, the sky is absolutely the limit, and I don't think there's any door that this young man will not kick that, well, not even kick down, throw down in 2026. It is Regan Blade. Regan, welcome to the show, my man.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I mean, we've both been very busy. Finally, got down to it though. I'm excited for today.
We have been both been busy. You've been going around everywhere. I think I've seen you now in about 4 or 5 different shows.
Yeah.
And impressed. The first one I saw you on, I'm pretty sure it was WrestleForce, and
I
I'm pretty
think
sure you wrestled Isaac Blair, if memory is right.
I had
Or
Harry
was it
McDonald
Archie?
was the
Was it
first
Harry?
one.
Or was it
Mm,
Harry? Oh, okay.
I think it was the same show as the one with Isaac and Archie on it as
That
well.
was it. Isaac and Archie wrestled. That was it. And you and Harry McDonald, the Big Mac. I have to,
Yeah.
whose song seems to play in my car. It seems to be like on a repeat at the moment. Every time I get in there. But no, when I saw you, I remember watching it and thinking, Jesus, like this kid's he's got something. I don't know, look, I'm not a wrestling scout by any stretch of the imagination. I've never been. I've done some training when I was growing up as a kid, but I never got into. I never actually physically managed to do it. It hurt too much, and I never had the athleticism or anything like that to do it. So, but from what I saw, you like what you like, right? That's the
Yeah,
that's the bottom
yeah.
line. And I remember watching it, and I was like, Jesus, like, and I'll give you a name of somebody that the only other person that sort of had the same impression with straight away, and that was Tommy Tanner.
Oh, okay.
When I saw
So
Tommy, I was like, Jesus, this guy's got it, and he just
yeah,
made his progress.
athletic guy. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, made his progress debut. Leo Rush was one of his guys that he took on, and I was just like, oh, this is incredible. And I had the same feeling when I saw you that for the first time that this kid's wow. I mean, I don't know what Weetabix you kids are eating, but it's some good shit. Look, let's just start back there. When did you start sort of watching, getting into wrestling as such?
Oh, since I can remember, really, you can ask my mum. I've been growing up since she told me I got my first wrestling figures about 2 years old. You look back on all her photos. I've got a photo of me when I was about 4 or 5. I got I was at a wrestling event and I had the US title on me, and it was bigger than me at the time. Like it was covering my whole shoulder, and it was looking like it was weighing me down. But yeah, started off uh, doing like wrestling with my friends on the trampoline, stuff like that. It's always been a part of my life. You know what I mean? Since I can remember, really.
Who was like your when you were growing up? Who was the ones that you would always watch when their matches were on?
So I was always a WWE guy. I'd never I wouldn't watch the weekly programming because it was always too late. But I'd always get my mum's permission to stay up late to watch the all the pay-per-views and the
Yeah.
WrestleManias and stuff like that. And I'd always Seth Rollins, even as a kid when he was obviously doing his heel stuff, I always liked Seth Rollins, and Randy Orton was obviously the other big one. But yeah, those two always growing up, main two, really enjoyed watching those two.
And interesting now as we talk about this, obviously, I don't know what you've seen of it at the moment. There's this masked guy that's part of the Vision now, and nobody seems
Mm,
to know who he is. And
mm,
I think they're putting different people in, week out, just to throw you off the scent anyway. But Randy Orton was one of those people that have leaked. I think this week
mm.
it was Montez Ford, funnily enough, because of
Yeah, yeah, that's what I've been hearing.
yeah, so it's interesting you mentioned Randy and Stephanie. That instantly sprung to mind. To give you an idea, and this is probably showing my age, when I was growing up, I think Hulk Hogan was about 30 years old. He still had no hair, but he was on top of the mountain at the time. But what is it that drew you to it though? What was that moment? I remember, for example, my first moment in wrestling, and it weren't even a match. My first moment I remember watching in wrestling, I was at my nan's house and they done a WrestleMania 6. So there you go. I was 6 at the time. WrestleMania 6 press conference. And it was Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior. And the Warrior's in a suit. So's Hulk Hogan, the Warrior, being and there was his face paint, and he's got the hair, and he's literally the suit looks like it's going to rip if he tenses his arm anymore. It look, and it was like, wow, this is crazy. Like, what is this? And then in from there, I started watching wrestling, and the story ends. But for you, when was that sort of moment where you were like, wow, this is what is this, and this is great?
Oh, thinking back, the first, I think it must have been the earliest memory. The first match I had, it was I couldn't tell you the exact details, but it was a Money in the Bank match.
Yeah.
You still had like Mask, Kane. I'm not sure what year it was from because I was that young, but I remember my dad put it on the TV and I was watching it, and he'd gone out to do something in the kitchen or something, and come back in. And I was about 2 inches from the TV, like watching it all up close, getting all excited and stuff like that. And obviously, I was a little bit older at this time. It was WrestleMania 31.
Yep.
So what's that? What year was that?
That was 9 years, 10 years ago. 20.
Okay, so I was 7. So yeah, I got to. That's the first WrestleMania I remember watching, and that's when I watched it all the way through. From I think Daniel Bryan won the ladder match at the
Yeah.
start to Seth Rollins cashing at the end. That's that to me that's still my favorite wrestling show of all time. I don't know if it's blinded by nostalgia, but that's where I realized this is what I love. Like this is I just enjoy this so much.
My first ever WWE one I went to was SummerSlam '92. It was in the Wembley Arena,
Okay,
Wembley
yeah,
Stadium. Sorry, I was there. I had the British Bulldog fake dreadlocks at the time. I had hair back then. I haven't always been
yeah.
like this. But I mean, I've been fortunate enough. I've been to 5 WrestleManias over in the States. I've done that before. It's been the only one pay-per-view that I haven't gone to that I'm still absolutely determined to do is the Royal Rumble.
Oh
I've
yeah, that would be great. That would be great.
If it wasn't for ill health, I would have been there when Edge come back, and I think I would have marked out like everybody else.
Yeah.
I was, yeah, I'm so annoyed that I couldn't go to that one. But look, you mentioned there your family, your mum and your dad. Like when did you say to them, "Hey, I'm going to train to be a wrestler"?
Um. So I've always been like not on and off of wrestling, but like
Hmm.
religiously watching it and then like just putting on occasionally. And it was by the end of school time. I think I finished school and or no, it was in the Easter break of school. My cousin
Hmm.
came round and we watched WrestleMania 40, yeah, 40.
Yeah,
And because we always used to watch WrestleManias together, but he hadn't come over for the last few years, whether I was away or something like that. And we watched WrestleMania 40, and then that like relit the spark again.
mm,
And for a few months after that, I was like really, really set on wrestling, and um, I was I used to train MMA before wrestling,
yeah,
and I was really interested in like the grappling side, so like the actual like wrestling, and I'd look up for wrestling schools
yeah.
and but when I put in a wrestling school, it would come up DKW. So that's how I found out about DKW. And I was looking at it, and I had an apprenticeship at the time, so I had so much spare time, and I was thinking, I mean, it's one day a week, and I feel like I'd really enjoy it. And I remember telling my mum that I was going to do it, and she was fine with it because she's got over all the MMA stuff and like
Mm.
used to like me putting myself out there like that. And yeah, that's when I quit that and transferred over to wrestling. And that's when it's about summertime 2024. I think that's when I decided I was gonna. And then I think I did my first session in September of 2024.
And you realised how much it really did hurt and stuff.
Yeah, especially on at DKW, you have these judo mats. You don't
Yeah.
you don't get the luxury of these. Well, you do get these padded mats, but yeah, these judo mats they do suck. You wake up next morning, it feels like you've hit a back workout in the gym because you're all sore back there and you're trying to figure out what it is. And yeah, they're not lovely to bump on.
And of course, running the ropes actually can hurt more than anything, can't it? When
Yeah,
you run.
definitely, yeah,
Whiplash is what I tell people that you generally get when you always get marked up when you run the ropes.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's the one thing. Was there anything when you first started training that you were like, oh, hang on a minute, I didn't know this hurt as much as it was going to?
Um, it was more getting like when you it's hard to imagine a bump when you
Mhm.
haven't ever taken one, and
Yeah.
it's also the aspect of it takes the wind out of you a little bit as well. So especially the worst bump I hate always taking is a stalling suplex because you're up there and
Yeah.
you're waiting for him to drop you, but you've got to be holding it, and the wait for them to drop you. That's the scariest part. It's scarier than landing, but yeah, that sucks. A stalling suplex. Always don't look forward to them.
It's one of them ones that you know it's coming, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're up there and you're like,
Yeah.
okay, I know. In a minute, I'm falling. When? Come on now. It's you're like, and then boff, you drop, and then that's it. But that is one. When
I
obviously,
think the weirdest for me.
yeah,
Oh, sorry, was it? I
that's
think
fine. That's fine.
um, yeah, the weirdest one ever. Is it all good now?
Yeah, yeah, fine. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, okay, okay, okay. Yeah, the weirdest one I ever took him was only recently in one of my recent matches against Tall Tom. I think the ceiling was a bit low and he dropped to his knees and gave me a stolen suplex from his knees. That was a weird one to take.
Fucking tall Tom. He's, he's a boy. He's a.
Oh, he
I gave him a
is.
lift
He
home
is.
one. We had our joint show with Ignite. So we put on buckle up. We put on three buckle ups over the last 3 years, and we done the last one this year. And he couldn't get home, and he lives near me. Actually, he lives in Pitsea. I live in Canvey, and it was took him home. It was quite interesting. I've got like a two-door sort of sporty Astra, so having tall Tom in the car with like his legs extending as far, but the seat, he's like, I'm talking to him and he's in the back seat, but technically in the front seat because of how tall
Yeah.
he is. But
Oh
it
yeah,
is,
he's massive.
he is. He's tall Tom for a reason, but he's a good lad. I do like Tom.
Oh yeah,
Um,
Tom's great. Tom's great.
when did that like when did I mean maybe with DKW, maybe in someone else where you first got that booking, it was your first match, and like how did you feel when they said, right, you're gonna have your first match in front of people now, like in front of paying fans?
So it was at a we had a DKW session, and normally
Yeah,
we go into training groups, and everyone got this like certain task except from me and this other wrestler.
yeah,
Um, I think it was Andre at the time, and so he wanted a full match from us. So that's
mhm,
when I knew something was up. And then I think the next week he told me I was going to be in a Rumble match, and that's when I was like, oh, this is really cool. Until I get to the day, and obviously I've quite a big family, so I brought all my family members along, and he must have looked at the tickets and seen like half of them are my family, and end up going in at number two, and I think I was in there for about almost pushing 40 minutes or so. I was down to the
wow.
last four. It was an experience for a first match. It was a very long one, and I ended up making my nose bleed from landed on the mat from my own drop kick. It was myself. I landed on the mat and my nose went.
My God, people don't sometimes don't have a 40-second first match. You have 40 minutes. Which is quite incredible. Right, we're going to take a break from you, and we're going to move on to the little part of the game I like to do, which is just ask some random wrestling questions to you. They're nothing too mad, but they do stump a lot of people when I do ask you. So the first question is: look, if you could only have three wrestling theme songs on your Spotify, who are they going to be?
Oh, see, this is a hard one because I love my music. As you see up there,
Mhm.
just music is it's my favorite one's got to be "Burning My Light" by Randy Orton's first theme song.
Yep.
Um, oh, this is a hard one. This is a hard one. Is it "Walk Alone" by Batista?
Yeah, banger.
These,
Yeah.
these these are the big ones, obviously, but I've got an unpopular opinion that might upset a few people here, but I'm not actually a big fan of Drew McIntyre's first theme song, "Broken Dreams."
What?
Yeah, yeah,
Sorry, what?
yeah, yeah. But no, I'd have "No More Words" by Jeff Hardy.
You youngsters, oh, that's the name. Every time Archer said it, I can't remember the couple of others that said it. They've all said Jeff Hardy, no more words, and Burning My Light. Funnily enough,
Mm, mm.
I think Arch might have said that as well. I'll have to go back through. Pretty much sure he says it. But no, three good ones. I tell you what though, just as a random thing, if any wrestler, even on the UK scene, is looking for a new theme song in the future, I have two artists that I know very, very well that actually does cover songs of wrestling themes. They're David Bartolome and Will Scar. If you go onto Spotify and write down "If I Wrote the Theme," you will see the songs that they've done. They've also now do the cover. They also now, sorry, do the theme song for the Big Boss Tyson Keaton. So if anyone is in there or if you just want to listen to some cover songs of a great song like Broken Dreams and others, go on there and go on and follow those guys because they're tremendous. I think they've had something stupid like 20 million downloads. They're crazy. But go and see that. Anyway, next question for Egan. Table for three, or say table for three, table for four. You've got three wrestlers, can be wrestlers, personalities, people in the business, past, present, alive, dead, that you can choose free to sit around a dinner table and talk and learn about wrestling. Who's the three that you're going to have around that table?
Ooh. Number one's got to be Seth Rollins. Obviously, he's always been my
Yeah.
my idol. Number two, it's got. I think just for representing the British scene, and it's got to be Michael Oku. It's got
Okay.
to be. And third, I think I'm a really big fan of Sheamus, and I think he'd be like a really funny guy as well. I think he'd have a right laugh.
He's a top
But
guy.
yeah,
Seamus is a good guy. Yeah, that's interesting. Three names I don't think anyone has said that
oh,
I've
okay.
asked, which is great thing. That's a good thing. Because I always say the same people. I kind of like I'd have Paul Heyman,
Mm,
Eric. I mean, I've spoken to Eric Bischoff for 3 hours on here, but I'd have Eric Bischoff quite happily.
mm.
And probably the Undertaker just to learn. But then on the other side of that, if I wanted to have like a real, if I had like a table for free for the people that I see right now, it would be you, Arch, and Tall Tom, just because it'd be quite a funny. I actually had a table with Tom for dinner after Ignite that time. But me and myself and the Ignite night promoters, Chris and Dan and Tom all had a. We went to a Turkish restaurant over the road from in Boreham Wood where the show was, and yeah, so I've actually had a dinner with Tom, not a date though. Tom wishes. But no. What's the one like when the pay-per-view calendar comes out every year? What's that one pay-per-view that you always look out for to see when it is?
um, for WWE.
Well, yeah, whatever you watch. Yeah, if it's just WWE that you watch, then yeah, what a pay-per-view.
Um,
They're generally the same every year, but it's
yeah, yeah. I do. I really like Survivor Series is probably my favorite, but I used to really like it when it was Raw and SmackDown. But now
yeah,
I'd say now I like the stipulation pay-per-views. So now I'd say maybe Money in the Bank, even though
yeah.
if you yeah.
That's great because you and Lalif both said two different pay-per-views now. So every time I've had a wrestler on, and I think even Arch said it, they've all said my one, which is the Royal Rumble. I've
Mm,
always said that's the one that I know when it is, although this has been in
yeah.
February, I think once. Obviously, next year's in Saudi, so we get to see it at a decent time. I mean, there is that to it. Um, but the Leaf said Elimination Chamber, which I thought was interesting because that's
Oh,
like,
okay, yeah.
and I kind of said it does work into the generational thing because Money in the I went so I my first WrestleMania that I went to in the States was the first ever Money in the Bank ladder match that they done at WrestleMania,
Oh, okay.
and it was won by Edge, who, funnily enough, I only started liking as a not as a bet, but I was so sick and tired. I'm only telling this story because he's retiring this weekend at time of recording. I
Mm.
was so sick and tired of John Cena being front and center of everything. I said the first person that beats him for that championship is going to be my favorite wrestler. And Edge was the first person. And he cashed in the Money in the Bank, which I saw, which I was there live when he won. So it was kind of poetic justice in a way. But now, of course, I've got the Brood tattooed on my arm there. I've got the Rated R
Yeah.
star on my back. I've got the Rated R spinner belt, which is signed by Edge and Jeff Hardy and RVD for that matter, but signed by Edge as well. So that's how Edge comes to mind, but it ties in with what you were saying, Money in the Bank. And funny enough, my son's first WWE event was Money in the Bank a couple of years ago. I took him to
Oh, okay.
the taping. They'd done the SmackDown taping, didn't they? They'd done Money in
Yeah.
the Bank the next day. So you see him on the, well, I was going to say the WWE Network, but that no longer exists, is
No,
it?
no, no.
Um,
Netflix now, yeah.
yeah, yeah. You probably, if they do upload it to Netflix, as it turns into the corner of the O2, he's standing there, so you'll see him. Yeah, he loved it. Cody Rhodes literally got up in front of him and like he done that whole whoa thing, and then he went to the crowd. He went up and stood up and went like that. And my son's literally, you can't see him, but he's literally like there on Cody. So if Regan Blade could have a fatal four-way in wrestling with anyone, it doesn't matter where they are. Who's your three opponents going to be?
Well, I'm going to keep repeating myself here.
It's fine.
We'll say we'll get Seth Rollins out of the way.
Yeah,
We already know it'd be
yeah.
there. It'd be there. Anyone? I think I'd really like to see. I reckon this would be a popular answer, but Will Ospreay. I really want to see like his mind behind all the sequences he plans and like because his memory must be
Mm.
like beyond me. And I feel like I could learn very much a lot from Osprey, and um, maybe maybe Finn Balor. I've been a really big
Ooh.
fan of him, and when from all growing up, and yeah, again, I think those three they have similar styles, but
Yeah.
obviously to different levels. Like I feel
Mm.
like that'd be definitely my top three.
I'd love that. I remember when I first started watching Finn Balor, he was Fergal Devitt at the time. He
Mm.
was over here, he wrestled over here, and he used to come out every time he was at a show. He'd come out in a different. He'd come out like the guy out of is it Dancing with the Wolves or something like that? He'd come out like Andy Hopkins. He'd do like he'd done Jack the Ripper once in NXT when I was there. He came out
Yeah,
as Jack the
yeah,
Ripper. That was
yeah.
probably one of the first times in the WWE that he used the face paint and all of that sort of stuff. But yeah, he's incredible, and he also supports a really good football team.
Spurs, isn't it? Is it Spurs? Nah,
Yeah.
I'm a West Ham fan over
Yeah.
here.
Anyway, moving on. Moving on. Those are the questions for Regan. But look, we're going to move into 2026 now. Obviously, we're literally a few weeks away from the turn of the
Yes,
year.
crazy.
In terms of goals and aspirations, Regan, for 2026, do you set longer term goals, or is there a load of short goals? What are you looking to do in 2026?
Well, I want to get my calendar all booked up, but there is a few goals. I'm coming for Jaden's belt. That's gonna be one. The showcase title. You better watch for that. But yeah, it's just to overall improve my game and sort of get more recognition because this first year was a sort of like that I'm appreciating everything and I'm not saying I won't anymore, but I was appreciating everything and it was like almost a dream to be here to where I've been and but this second year is going to be I'm going to be more head down, going for it more, just just earning my place more. I don't want to trying to get out of the rookie phase, as I would say,
Yeah.
get more experience in matches and things like that, really. But yeah, the main one is Jaden better be watching out for his belt.
Well, he's coming on the show next week, so I'll tell him that that you're coming after. I thought you was going to say my belt for a minute because obviously our championship, well, our championship's around, and we're talking championships. I may as well announce that the Turnbuckle Championship match for Ignite on February the 15th. If I had it my way, I'd call it St. Valentine's Day Massacre, but Chris has his own things. It's always curtain call in November, December, and it's always the next chapter. So chapter 5 in this case for Ignite, February 15th. And my champion, Aluna, well, she's got to go against someone that she's fought before. In November, we had a triple threat match, and the guy believes that he was robbed by Aluna because apparently he had the match won, demanding a one-on-one match. Which, to be fair, it's never one-on-one when he gets in the ring because he's always joined by Arthur Scurro, and that man is Chris Aries. So Chris Aries and Luna will go kind of one-on-one in February for well, not mine, it's Luna's championship at the minute, but it is the Hitting the Turnbuckle title. Still can't get Chris Aries to smile though. I'm not sure. I'm going to call him. I tried to call him Mr. Happy, but never smiles. He actually even gave me an evil during the last Turnbuckle Championship match, and I don't know what his game is, but he's getting what he wants. So that's all I can give him for February. So he's got that in February. But Regan, look, as we start to wrap up now, look, I appreciate you can announce some things and you can't announce some other things, but what can you announce and where are you going to be at the first part of 2026?
Well, I'm sort of all of January. I'm free at the moment. I really need to start getting these dates down. But one of the shows I'm on at the moment is God, I don't want to butcher the name now. It's Rock and
Oh
Roller.
yeah,
I'm
I've
on
heard of that. Yeah, yeah.
so it's on my birthday actually, so it'll be the day I'm turning 18. So hopefully that'll be a good birthday if I win. But tag team match against First Class Flyers, me and my partner Matt Craven. That'll look out for that one.
First Class Flyers are coincidentally making their Ignite debut this coming February as well. I don't think I can announce the match though, because I don't know I know who they're facing, but I can't, no, I better not because when this goes out, I don't think their match is going to be announced. So I won't announce it in February. But Regan, last things first before we wrap up. Look, if promoters are out there and they're looking to book you for shows, where can they do it? Where can they find you?
Either my Facebook or my Instagram, Reagan.Blade is my Instagram. That's what I use the most. And Facebook, I think, is just I think it's the same. So just message me. I'm gonna make an email soon, so
Mhm.
that'll be on my Instagram. I'll let everyone know that. But yeah, they're the main places. That'll be.
Well, put it this way, his diary won't be full of empty for very long, that's for sure. But from what I've seen of this man, a young guy already, 2026 is he's just going to scratch the surface of how good that he is. I'm looking forward to seeing him. I will be loaded in March, which is DKW show where we get to pick things. I think from what I hear, if things are right, the fans. I said to the Leaf, I want her to kick the shit out of Peter Miller in March. In your case, I may grant you that showcase championship showdown with Jaden if you haven't already had it by then. But look, guys, as we wrap up now, I need to do a couple of things. First things first, I need to thank AEW for Bishop Khan and Preston Vance interviews recently. I need to thank TNA Wrestling. Where the hell would we be without them? Tasha Steele's come on the show recently. Zaya Brookside also as well. Now, coming up on the show, we do have a former Intercontinental Champion, maybe before your time, Regan, but his name is Ezekiel Jackson, and he's making a comeback in 2026, and he'll be joining us on the show real soon. So we're looking forward to having Ezekiel Jackson on as we close out 2026. I want to thank EC3 as well for allowing us into his Exodus Pro Wrestling show, for allowing us to preview his Exodus Pro show with him. Ignite Wrestling, I've already mentioned February the 15th. Tickets are on sale. 96 Eventbrite. Type in Chapter 5, type in Ignite Wrestling. You'll see it on there. Taylor James versus Tommy Kyle. Taylor James versus Tommy Kyle versus Tommy Tanner for Taylor's Ignite Championship. Aluna versus Chris Aries for the Turnbuckle Championship. The return to Ignite of CPF, the debut of the First Class Flyers, and of course, the breakout division will return to Ignite in 2026. Matches to be announced. Regan, it's been great having you on the show. Thank you so much for taking your time of your evening to
Thank
spend
you
with
for
me.
having me.
Man, next year is going to be great. And I can't wait to be on that ride to see you in 2026. But for Regan Blade, everybody, I've been Adam Cousins, and you have been watching the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast. And until next time, everybody, buckle down, stay safe, and good night.